I left Cuba when I was 22 years old. It was September the 8th, 1997.
I got here in 1995.
I left Cuba on September 24th, 1970, when I was 4 years old.
My parents arrived in the early 60s. I was born here in the United States, where I like to say all other Cubans are born.
I went to the Middle East. I left for work. I'm looking for a better life for my family. Spent 5 years in the Middle East and then arrived in the States on August the 8th, 2001. And I've been here ever since.
Okay, now you can give us your opinion on President Obama's speech about normalizing relations with Cuba.
I think the normalization of diplomatic relations with Cuba is long overdue. That is my personal opinion. I think that it's been 55 years of this embargo and this blockade going on. And I think at this point, we need to let go of whatever brought us to that point where we're trying to obviously topple Castro's government. We have not achieved that. And at this point, the blockade is just punishing the Cuban people, not necessarily the Cuban government. So I think it's time to let go. We need to move forward. Okay? That's it.
That's great. Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Chairman.
was born in New Jersey. My parents had different experiences getting to the United States. They actually met here in New York. My mom left when she was 21 years old. She left Cuba alone. Her father, my grandfather, had to leave Cuba basically in hiding. He left through the Costa Rican embassy because he was anti-Castro, anti-Batista, basically anti-everybody. So my mother, at 20 years of age, along with my godmother, snuck my grandfather into the Costa Rican embassy, and that's how he was able to leave. While the news may seem hopeful and is a remarkable change and shift in policy for our government in terms of its relationship with Cuba, because of my history, because of growing up here in this community, I have mixed feelings. On the one hand, I would like to see better opportunities for the Cuban people, and I would like to see a change in our relationship. But by the same token, after 50 plus years of a very painful history, it's difficult to trust that these opportunities will be realized, that these promises are going to come to fruition. So I'm kind of an anomaly of sorts amongst Cuban Americans. For me,
I believe that if the embargo had in fact been enforced properly, that it would have worked. But the fact of the matter is that money has been flowing from the United States to Cuba since 1979, and that's why it hasn't worked. I think that the recent events lifting the embargo is, one, it's putting the new Congress in a really, really difficult situation, and it's going to have political repercussions for the next year or two that may perhaps end up making a difference in the presidential election. I also believe that sending more money to Cuba is only going to cause inflation, and people will still have to buy food on the black market, so they will really not be better off, because they will still be risking their lives and their liberty to buy food at super inflated prices.
Well, it was unexpected. I didn't expect that. I think it's better that he did that through the Congress. I think that the embargo can be lifted, because I don't think that that has any influence on the economy in Cuba, and that way they can see there that it's not the embargo why they are in that condition. But in another hand, I don't think that, I think that he has to ask the Congress to permission to do that, but that's my opinion.
Okay. Marissa, anything else?
Anything else?
No, it's a short
No,
video.
it's a short video. Just
Oh.
want your opinion on it.
And who's
I don't necessarily hold all of the ideas that the older exiled Cuban community has, but by the same token, I'm not necessarily ready to embrace this full-on relationship because I really don't know what it entails. I think that there's a lot of opportunity, and I think that many of us are hopeful, but I think that I've kind of adopted a wait-and-see attitude.